Within this, I will cover that how Cato platform can have a coexistence with the existing VPN world. All right. Now, we have kept the agenda very simple and sharp. Um, um, I will cover the overall architecture while I'm I think you would be aware about Cato's platform as an overall, but I will try to cover the overall architecture. Will not go deep dive, but I will jump on to the specific use case, which is the important piece of this webinar. And then without demonstration, the this use case doesn't complete. So I've made sure that you see you see the use case in action. And that's something I think probably a technical guy would love to see. I think the third piece of this would be the interest. The last piece is the wrap up, where I want to wrap up with what we have learned so far in the webinar. And probably thereafter, I'll, take it further, the questions. Um, With this platform, like I said, you go to any of the customer, they have something or other within their environment, whether you talk about the firewalls, whether you talk about the networking, or you talk about VPNs of the world. Now, if we have to coexist within this customer, this platform, the platform, what Cato offer has to be flexible enough to start with anywhere. That's where this one cloud platform showcase that it can deliver multiple use cases. You think of SSC engine, think of it as a global firewall, which can do a branch security across the infrastructure. And these branches can be connected through a networking engine, what we call it as a SD-WAN, and more towards what we uniquely offer is the global backbone. It's a global private backbone. It's more than what they get into the MPLS world. So they can have optimization control over this backbone. And the last piece is once the networking or the branches are onboarded, you can enable different features and functionality. You talk about the digital experience monitoring. You can enable remote users to get connected and just not just connected. It is the universal ZTNA. Depends on to the user location awareness, depends on where the user is, he will get access to respective applications. So he may have access to all the application when he's in the office, but he may not have same level of access to all the applications when he is outside. So that's where the universal ZTNA or more of adaptive access I'm talking about. And we are not limiting customer to only to networking and security. It goes beyond that when they're talking about the AI security as well. So this is what this platform means, that what you need when you need, you can start from anywhere. Now let me double click on it. What are the different scenarios? So we have branches, we have users, we have AI agents. All these are talking to probably the internet world, SaaS or AI applications. These AI applications could be on-prem, cloud, anywhere. I mean, as a SaaS service or as a on-prem. The another use case is your application could be in, SaaS, as a SaaS, your, as a PaaS, or anywhere in a private or public cloud. And we have these three different type of, sources which are talking to our applications. The same platform extend the security and access when these three sources connect to the respective destination. You talk about the internet, SaaS, AI application, whatever it is. And it brings in the modular architecture where customer can start from anywhere. And you must have seen, I remember talking to a customer on my recent discussion, where customer came up with the discussion of just an AI security. When we showcased the overall platform, that it is not just fulfilling the AI security, it can go extensive. It can work as a universal ZTNA, give them a private access from the same agent. Or you talk about the networking, you talk about the SSC, everything as in modular SASE platform. Whenever they need it, they can enable. And on the top of it, as a unique piece, what we call it is a XOps. This XOps service converge three different things. The XDR functionality, that means it is just not limiting to the events which are received from the Cato architecture. It also ingest the events from third party. Plus, not limiting to only security events, it goes beyond that where you get to see the operational events as well. Plus, AI security. We are not leaving AI security aside as in standalone. It's the part of this platform. So this XOps features enable customers to have stories based on XDR, AI ops, AI as in holistic approach on a single platform. And trust me, this is a single software stack. It's not multiple software stack running at the back. It's a single software stack. So if a policy is being made for Rohit, whether the Rohit is accessing, networking piece or security piece or any applications, all these security coming in between, where when I'm accessing from branch, from remote, doesn't matter. The same policy engine will work. And you have same data lake where on the top of it, you have XOps service working in. Now, let me jump on to the specific scenario of client accessing the application. And think of this scenario as this is your existing customer. They're utilizing the VPN rules. So I'm talking about people who are accessing the application uh, with the help of the VPNs, the traditional VPNs, what they have, but they still want to start their movement towards the SASE architecture or SSE architecture. That's where Cato comes in picture, and this is what this webinar is meant for today. Now, let me talk about the current state. The current state is we have managed users. Those managed users are working from office, from home, from anywhere. So these are the managed laptops. When I'm talking about the managed users, these are managed laptops or desktops, which again rely on VPNs of the world. So if I'm at home, I connect VPN and I get access to some internal applications. Well, there are some plus and minuses of the VPNs. I'm just talking about just what the current state is. And there are other guys in the world who are bringing the BYOD devices, who are contractors. They also rely on VPN-like access. So if I'm a contractor, I want to do some kind of additional service onto respective application. I get a VPN access. So I install a VPN SSL or IPsec and I get access to the respective application. Again, in both the scenarios, VPN plays an important role in Azure's architecture. This is the current state. All right. Now, what I want to highlight here is, and this is something which you must have seen in conversation with customers. They say that we don't want to touch our existing infrastructure or our existing, working thing, how you can coexist. That's where I'm picking up a topic where how I can coexist with third-party VPNs. This could be any third-party VPNs. All right. And this is where Cato makes the difference. So it could be a company, organization saying that, we could be suggesting customers that you can do a phased wise migration without disrupting their businesses. So think of this scenario. They still use their VPN to connect their private applications, but the Cato web only mode. So Cato works in two different modes, which I'll talk about in next coming slide. But here for this, the Cato web only mode enables them for the internet, web, or the SaaS security without any disruption. And these two agents operate without any, issues into the end user experience. Another thing, when I'm talking about the internet or the SaaS security, I am talking about all the security engines. You start with the secure web gateway, DNS security, CASB, DLP, and also the deep inspection of the traffic, which is meant for internet or SaaS applications. All right. And another piece, the same level of capabilities is being extended to the third party. So they do not rely on any VPNs of the world. And this is something which uniquely provided. This is not a standalone solution. This is by default can be enabled for the third party that though they don't need a VPNs of the world. They can have a secure application access via Cato. And there are different ways of it. Cato clientless, browser extension. This browser extension can be part of their existing Chromium based browsers. Or if a customer is looking for a whole sole browser should be managed by OEM, that's where I'm talking about the enterprise browser. And that's where we will see one of the demonstration where I will demonstrate the enterprise browser as well. And it is just not limiting you to the access level. It also gives you the security. Think of tomorrow endpoint posture as well as the data protection happening before application access being given. That's not the part of the VPN world. All right. So these are the three important pillars which I will be talking in my next slide. Now, before I jump on to the specific scenario, I want to tell you about different connection modes this Cato client supports. Okay. The first one is full Cato SASE deployment. When I'm saying Cato SASE deployments, irrespective internet traffic or a private traffic, the Cato client will work in a full tunnel mode. That means all the ports, all the protocols will be sent out to Cato. And from there, Cato will route it to respective, private application or public application, or you talk about the internet or SaaS. All right. The second scenario is where Cato will do the internet security, just the internet security, but the remote applications may be connected via some MPLS within the root environment. We can split it out. So again, all ports can be sent out to Cato, but specific domain IP address, which is referring to a private apps, can be ruled out from that Cato. Okay. The third scenario where I want to coexist with third-party VPN, and this is the scenario which we would be discussing today, where I will only do when I say I will, it's the Cato client will only do the internet security, but I will split out the third-party VPN. So if I'm learning some set of routing from third-party VPNs, I'll not fight. My agents will not fight with that, and we'll see how it works. And this is where the web-only mode comes in picture, where I'm taking a web traffic to the Cato. Okay. And the last piece is third-party accessing the private applications. And this is specific to web traffic initiated from the third-party laptops, BYOD, or unmanaged laptops to Cato. And that's where they get to see the use case of enterprise browser, clientless, or you talk about browser extension. Okay. What we will cover today is enterprise browser. All right. So I'll take a number one point of here, internet security only plus third parties VPN. Okay. So here what you see is normal, all traffic to POP. That's where it will send it out to internet, private access, or to SaaS applications. Depends. Okay. But think of this C scenario, which is the topic, where this C machine, initiates a connection to public internet or SaaS application that goes to Cato. But if it is a scenario of a same user accessing the private applications, in this scenario, in this demonstration, this is the data center, which is the VPN server. Behind the VPN server, I have a DNS server. And there is an internal app which says rburani.com. So when a user will type in rburani.com, the DNS will exclude it, will be sent out to this DNS server and replied back to the source. The source will open the web page, again initiating a HTTPS connection to rburani.com. All right, this is the scenario which you will see in the demonstration. All right, let's see the demo thing. All right. So what you see in front of you is the home page. The home page has got different tabs, and these are like six tabs. A simple one. Just to give you a high level, I think many of you already know it. Homepage is more of, view. You get the view of topology, events, applications. You get to see the events when I'm talking about the XOP service, everything onto this homepage. When I'm talking about the site, public cloud, or location connectivity, that comes under the network. So it could be with my own sockets, virtual sockets, or it could be third-party connectivity via the IPsec VPN. So I'm talking about the site-to-site connectivity. That's where I spoke about the branches or cloud. If it is a scenario of the users connecting within your environment, that's the access. That's all access. So I'm a user connecting it from remote, from office location. Everything comes under the access piece. And on the top of it, once the connectivity of the branch and access comes, there is a security at to the tenant level. So you configure all the security at to the tenant level. That's where the security comes in. And it doesn't limit you only to the security of the application. It is going way beyond where you have AI security as well on the same platform. Okay. And then you have resource section where you do the integrations and you see number of catalogs, and within the account you can do branding, licensing, you see all the sockets, everything at the one place. So literally you're not going anywhere to do any kind of activity apart from this tenant. It is as good as like you are managing your infra like you do it in AWS world. So it's a AWS of network and security. All right, let's move. So today, within this, I will be talking about the private access. Okay. And you see a topology over here. I will click on one of the FG VPN. This is my VPN server, which I have connected with IPsec v2. Okay. I see more details about it. So I see, which POP it is connected to. If I want to go into the configuration, monitoring of the same, I can directly jump in from here. Or you talk about, I have another application in some other data center, which here it says Azure vSocket. I have connected it via the vSocket, virtual socket, and I can manage that virtual socket directly from here. So I can see all the vSocket details on the same at the high level. Again, if I want to do a configuration monitoring directly from here. So let me jump onto the network piece. So this is what I've showed, a network, whether it says FGVPN or Azure socket. Again, it's a part of the network. Let me drill down to specific what networks are connected. So what I'm here showing, the more details you get into the monitoring page. Now let me jump onto the IPsec. This is where I can configure the IPsec to this respective site. So this is where my IP address, the Cato IP address, the destination IP address, which I have highlighted, and then finally I can see the first phase, or if I've configured the secondary, I've not configured the secondary just for the sake of the demonstration per se, the first phase, second phase. And then most important, I'm not restricting to specific IP address to be routed. I just left it 000. And it is picking up the network from here. So this is the network which is going into that. That's what you see into the diagram that what I showed last time. And there's no natting. The natting responsibility is being done to the third-party devices. Now let me jump on to the other Azure, where I've got it connected to vSocket. Again, this is connected to different POP. It's there in the different region, and I can manage the sockets from here. So I don't have to log in or do individual socket monitoring or configuration. It's everything from here, just one page. Okay. You see all the LAN, WAN connectivity on the same page. So most of the work, once it is connected, it's here. So it's actually a zero touch where you don't need it, just need an internet access and it automatically connects you to the tenant. Here, the specific subnet, it's a different subnet, what we saw earlier. It's a different subnet that is being behind this socket. It's a LAN segment, which is directly connected. And you see a dedicated IP address 10.02.5. I've configured a NAT over here because I have a socket deployed. So this is the application which has got NAT, and there is a specific app which is configured behind it, which I'll showcase into the next demo. All right. So let me jump on to the scenario. Perfect. Oh, all right. Oh, I missed. So like I said, the DNS thing, what we saw earlier. So here, what I'm using is the default DNS, but I'm using a DNS forwarding. I am forwarding the specific domain. It's rburani to the DNS server, hr.rburani. It's an internal website, which is being sent out to the internal DNS server. All right. Let me show you the client connectivity policy. This is the client connectivity policy. When I'm saying enterprise browser, it is only for the Rohit Burani. So this guy can do an enterprise browser, not the other guys. But other guys come from client, they're allowed to have WAN or internet access. Let me show you where I've done the split tunneling when I am connecting it to the specific application. So I have another user which says Divyana. Okay. This users when connects to the platform, it will connect into the web only mode. Okay. This is the web only mode and I am excluding the specific DNS out of it. So I'm routing all the traffic in this web only mode, web traffic, and it says all the web traffic being sent out to Cato, but this specific DNS is excluded. I can also exclude the destination. That's the B scenario, which I've not covered here. But the rest of the other who are connecting, they can have all ports and all protocols. So Rohit, if he connects, he will have all ports and all protocol traffic sent out. Again, I am hitting to the global DNS policy. I have not enabled a specific policy, a DNS policy here. I'm using the global DNS policy to forward the DNS to the DNS server. All right. Let me also jump on to the security. All right. So in the WAN, just forget about this naming convention, but it says allow any. So I'm not stopping any transaction between user to application or branch. It's all allowed for now. Okay. Now, let me open the client. This is my Cato client. Again, the first example, Divyana, which will be in a web only mode. And the other was the third party VPN. Here it is, Fortinet. All right. Here I'm showing the two different users. All are ZTNA users. So here you see Divyana and the other user you see Rohit. All right. Perfect. Let me do it fast. Yep. So here I've got, oh, sorry. One second. Let me move fast. I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay. This is where I want to show it. Oh, my bad. There's no bar coming in. Okay. Let me show this way. I think probably I. Okay. Sorry about that glitch. Okay. 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 This is where I am. So I've corrected Divyana here. All right. She she's corrected. And you would notice the connection mode. It is the web only mode I'm talking about. And it is on UDP. So only the web traffic is being sent out to Cato. Okay. Now let me connect to this is the POP details, distance to POP, all this being shown here. Let me connect and I'm showing the details of that VPN server. This is the details of the VPN server, username, and I'm filling up the password and should get connected to it. Let me move it a little fast. And I got connected. Perfect. Perfect. This is my IP address. of that VPN server which has given it to me. Let me do a quick check the the technical thing. All right. So what I'm doing here is this 10.30.0.10. Let me do what all the adapter settings, what all routing I've got injected in. So if I scroll up, I see the default route is still my local LAN, not to anywhere. But this client, the third-party VPN client, has injected a route in my system, which is this 10.0.128. This is where the third party, or I would say the application resides, the big resides that VPN thing. Okay, let me also show you the adapter settings. This is my local LAN, the wireless LAN. Let's forget about it for now. And then when I show you the adapter settings, you would able to understand there are two adapters which are kicked in, the third party VPN as well as the CATO. Okay, so this is where you see the IP address. Okay, and the DNS server. This is the DNS server which is there in that disk. And also you see a same DNS server and as well as CATO relay server. That 127.0.0.253 is the CATO relay server. Okay. And this relay server comes as soon as you configure the split tunnel policy. So you don't need to manually configure this relay server. You just need to say DNS exclusion. This relay server will populate over here. Okay. Now, I'll also show you the proxy settings. Okay. As soon as I enabled CATO, this CATO proxy got injected within the system. That means all the web traffic will be sent out to the CATO proxy, the CATO engine. All right. Now, jumping on to the scenario, the final, what would be the user experience? Okay. Now, okay, I have these domains, rgunani.com. So let me copy this domain. I will go on to the site. This is my HTTPS site. And I see this is working. This is my private access or the private app which is deployed behind that view. And I'm able to access it without any disruption with Cato client. Okay. Now, the similar scenario, when I am accessing the internet, what's the behavior? So let me show you the behavior when I am connected to Cato client. So when I'm connected to Cato client, so again, you have both the VPN and as well as Cato, both the Cato client and as well as the VPN client connected to the platform. Okay, let me reconnect it just to showcase in front of you. Oh, 1 second. Ah, all right, I'm showing you the route. Perfect. So let me show you the route first, and then we'll see the different, again, the same thing what we saw earlier. Let me make it a little fast. All right. So you see default route, just the normal route. I'm not connected to anything. Okay. It's to the local LAN. As soon as I connect, all right, 1 second. I think I have jumped on to the, okay. I'm sorry. I have just clicked. So this is the use case of internet where I'm connected to web only mode. I am connected to the VPN. And when I access to the, what is my IP address.com. Here I see, because it's a web traffic going to the Cato, it is where you see, going to the internet. And if I access some third-party site which is blocked, I'm seeing a block page from Cato. This was the use case of internet. Now, I jumped on to the third use case. Sorry about that. But yeah, the third one was the last use case where third party accessing the private applications without Cato client, without any VPN clients of the world. That is where I'm introducing you with enterprise browser. Okay. That's what it shows as a next. Okay. Within the enterprise browser, what happens? This remote third-party user initiates, opens the enterprise browser. He accesses the application, web application. That web application forwards it to the forward proxy of Cato. And this is where you have the Cato space security engines deployed in the same POP where our space software is running. The security engines will decide whether that application needs access to internet or intranet WAN. What you see here would an example of I am accessing the private applications. And plus on the top of it, I am enabling the data protection from the browser level itself. So if it is a scenario third party accessing, you can build the wall of security from the browser. All right. So here I was where I'm showing that nothing is connected. I am connected to my local Wi-Fi. It's a third-party laptop. This is the IP address which my local Wi-Fi has given it to me, and I am seeing the SSL, the different adapters, whether it's a Fortinet adapter or Cato adapter. Everything is disconnected. Nothing is connected. So I am on my home Wi-Fi. That's what it is. And now I'll also show you the routing. That's where VPN plays a role, that it injects the route. So here no routes are being injected. It's clean. Okay, it's just a normal Wi-Fi. So what I'll do here is I will open up a Cato browser. Here you see a Cato browser being opened. Okay, so I'll let you connect to the Cato first. So you get connected. So let me show you that now at this moment of time when I'm not connected, you are on internet. So you can have it works as a normal browser. You are on internet and it is connected to normal internet. So that's where you see Bharti, Mumbai. Okay. And as soon as I connect it to the Cato, POP, so I'm supplying my subdomains, username, passwords, and it will get me connected to the platform. And once I'm connected, let me refresh. Let me refresh this. What is my IP address.com? Once I refresh, I see Cato networks coming in. So my all web traffic is moving from Cato networks. And you see the watermarking at the back because I have enabled the watermarking as well. So if I'm connected to internet or intranet via the Cato browser, the security, as I said earlier, starts from the browser level itself. So, and it is up to you, how do you control it? So I'll show you the policies as well. Now, let me try to access rburani.com, the same application. It's what? Okay, I can do some copy paste. Does it allow me to do a copy paste? Don't know. Let's see what happens. So I just did a copy and I'm not able to, do paste here and there. Nothing is working. The second scenario, I'm taking a printout of it. The print is disabled. All right. Let me also try the DNS server resolving another application which is sitting in different data center, hr.arborari.com. That's where the Azure vSocket I was talking about. This is where the different applications. So DNS is getting resolved from one data centers, but the application is being accessed from different data centers. Again, I'm doing the same copy paste thing, not working. Again, the print, not working. Watermarking is still available. Perfect. So I have access to my internet applications via this Cato browser. All right. And let me jump on to the configuration piece. So what I've done here is I have enabled the data protection. You must see within the security section that copy, paste, print is blocked, but other things like download, type, upload is not. Watermarking is enabled, and you see the notification when I was copying, copy action is being blocked. So I'm blocking the copy action. Perfect. So you can create this rule based on user groups, and accordingly, it will get in effect when this respective user will access the respective application, whether it's internet or intranet. All right. Now, what we saw here is one of the use case which shows that Cato can coexist with third-party platform. It's just not one of the use case. The use case could be of security. Think of it as an internet, SaaS security, data protection, or IoT, OT, or different use cases of networking as well, where customer is looking for global connectivity only. we can start from there. Customer is looking for MPLS replacement, we can start from there. Or talking about VPN replacement or coexist with VPNs, like was what we saw. That's where the remote access, and it just not bringing only the connectivity piece with the remote access. The universal ZTNA is default functionality. And plus, think of scenario that customer do not want all these three pillars. They want to talk about the hot topic, AI, the AI, what they're using it, AI, what they're deploying it. We can start from this. So this one true SASE platform has got a multiple use cases. That's where this platform gives you flexibility wherever you start from. And from there, you have flexibility to grow from one use case to different use cases, showcasing customer that it's just not limiting to only that single point. And most importantly, it can actually transform the customer in infrastructure. So with this, I want to wrap up. I want to welcome you with the new platform economy where you can start anywhere or grow everywhere. Thank you all. I think I'm happy to take questions now.
All right. Thank
Tim,
you,
over to
Rohit.
you.
Yeah, thank you, Rohit. Okay, I currently don't see any questions in the Q&A box. I'll just give a couple of minutes for everyone to input their for any questions to be input. And then yeah, if there's any questions, now is the time to ask them. While people are keying in their questions, I just want to say that this is something that we are continuing to do on a monthly basis. So the next webinar will be in June, okay, and it will be on AI and AI security. So we look forward to having you guys with us again. So the previous session, we touched on AI, um, and it was very well received. So what we are looking forward to do is, go a little bit deeper into the topic itself. Okay, and we're excited to have you with us every month. So please keep a lookout for our invites, and I will see you in subsequent sessions. Any questions for Rohit? Please put into the Q&A box. Okay, we'll just wait a couple of minutes.
Yes, there are no questions. I think I've delivered it right.
Yes, I think you have. Even I understood it. So that's good. Okay, so seems like there are no further questions. Um, t-
Yep.
Everybody, I'm happy to give you guys 20 minutes back into your day, 18 minutes to be exact. And I hope to see you guys in the next month's edition of the Partner Tech webinar. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank
Oh,
you. Thank
yes,
you.
Subin, you can get the recording for this. Thank you. Bye bye.
Perfect. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, Rohit. Bye bye.